swear to God, every day something comes up about the Sonya Massey's unaliving and it just keeps getting crazier, y'all. What do you mean Sonya may have had an encounter with the same officers before the incident? Was her unaliving really planned by former officer Sean Grayson?
It was an incident that happened earlier that day, and I talked to 2 officers or whatever, and I believe that it's the same officer that shot my mother. I talked to his partner first, then the second officer, that's the one that I think the one that did that. I talked to them, and they told me that because she was driving herself to the hospital or something, she wasn't even at the house when this was going on.
Well, one thing is for certain, the family members, especially her son Malachi, are still struggling to come to terms with the untimely death, and they are making it known.
I don't know, like, I haven't been able to sleep for real. The only time I really feel comfortable sleeping is when I'm, like, just on the floor. I can't even sleep in my bed. Like, I don't know, like, this is just, I really don't have words. Like I've been said, I don't have words for real for this.
Sonya's father has also been on RTLs, and he said that one of the things that annoyed him the most was being lied to about what really happened to Sonya.
And then there was a story that this was self-inflicted, a self-inflicted gun.
Oh my goodness.
So I think the cover-up started from just right after it happened. Thank God for the body camera footage.
And the mother, OMG, Sonya's mom is still devastated.
It's not real. This can't be real. I don't know how this could be real. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
The mom strongly believes that Sonya was unalive because she was black. And you know what? For the family, it's even more painful because Sonya was apparently a descendant of one William K. Donegan, who'd been a shoemaker and conductor on the Underground Railroad before he was lynched by a white mob during the Springfield race riot in 1908. Apparently, Sonya was taken to the same hospital, St. John's, where William died after his white attackers slit his throat and hanged him from a tree outside his home. So yeah, it's very personal. And these are not the only times this family has dealt with something similar, by the way. To add on to this, Sonya's son Malachi said his mom was a ball of energy who always reminded him to read his Bible, and that he's so grief-stricken by his mother's death that he can't describe the pain. According to Malachi, the fact that the other deputy said he was going to go get a medical kit to help, and Sean said, nah, she's done, you can go get it, but that's a headshot, proved that Sean did not care at all. And to make matters worse, he also insulted Sonya by calling her the B word a few times and said that she was crazy. That was proof enough to Malachi that the officer had no regard for his mom, and so they wouldn't have any regard for him as well.
Honestly, he need life, like, or something, because it's no way in the world that should have happened to my mother. He should have let anything like that. That shouldn't have went down. It's no way, no how. I feel like he didn't care from the beginning. He didn't care from the beginning, because I watched one clip of, like, the first part of it, and he just had no regards for my mother, so we need to have no regards for him.
Honey, this family is still struggling to come to terms with Sonya's death because they can't even understand how Sean Grayson was employed as a deputy. I mean, the officer had a history of nasty behavior, including driving under the influence, known to the sheriff's department. He had 2 DUI charges, including one while he was enlisted in the Army, and his personal file also listed misconduct, serious offense, as the reason he left the Army in 2016. The document says Grayson was separated from the Army under a general discharge after he served as a private first class at Fort Riley in Kansas, but the file did not detail the alleged serious misconduct. Apparently, he also failed to obey a command while working for another sheriff's office in Illinois and was told he needed high-stress decision-making classes. The recommendation came after Grayson failed to slow down after his boss called off a vehicle pursuit where Sean was driving about 110 miles per hour before striking a deer. The chief deputy actually wrote in the file, Deputy Grayson pursued the truck through Lincoln at a high rate of speed, reaching speeds of 60/30 mph zone, and in my opinion failed to show due caution while driving through stop intersections. In addition to high-stress decision-making classes, the chief deputy also recommended traffic stop training, report writing training, and he was told that he needed to read, understand, and discuss the issue Logan County Sheriff's Office policy. Honey, that's not even all. Sean was also on the Kincaid police force for only 3 months before he was let go because he refused to live within a 10-mile radius. Then when he was at his last job, which he was fired from, the Sonya Massey incident happened. And like I said, the family is still trying to wrap their heads around what happened because it still doesn't make any sense. You know, the first thing that didn't make sense was that Sean had not activated his body-worn camera until the incident, but the other responding deputy had his camera activated after arriving at Sonya's home, and thanks to him, we know exactly what happened. Now, based on the footage that was released, Sonya called police to her home in Springfield, 200 miles south of Chicago, to report that she believed someone had broken into her property. From the footage, we can clearly see that Sonya took a few minutes to open the door after the deputies knocked, and once she did, she immediately said, "Don't hurt me." Basically, she was scared from the beginning, and the officers themselves were even like, "Why would we hurt you? You called us."
Well, honey, you're down here, and I need you down here. Please don't hurt me, y'all.
Why would we hurt you? You called us.
Okay.
Sonya really seemed confused as they spoke at the door, and she repeated that she needed help, referenced God, and told them she didn't know who owned the car on her driveway. The deputies then proceeded to search the area and didn't find anyone, to which Sonya told them, please God, I'm trying to help y'all." Then they asked multiple times what Sonya needed help with, and she replied that she heard somebody outside before the officers asked for her name and followed her into the house. Child, something that was a bit off was that while they were inside and Sonya was looking for her identification, she called 911 again and had the 911 operator on the phone while the cops were inside her house. And when they told her to hang up the phone, she told the operator to hold on. I mean, the police she called were already there, so why is she still calling 911?
I got the sheriff department here, but I was calling for help from y'all.
Okay, are you there with me?
They're here in my house right now.
Okay, I'll let you go so you talk to them.
No, hold on, wait a second, sir.
You can hang up, Cottonwell. It's good.
For what? You're there with the deputy, correct?
No, hold on, okay?
Moving forward, the energy was just off, and as Sean talked to Sonya, his partner began searching different rooms of the home, and the deputies then asked for her ID so they could then get out of her hair. The next thing that happened is that Sean saw a pot sitting on the stove, gestured towards it, and said, "We don't need a fire while we're here." Then Sonya walks to the stove to remove the pot, and Sean appeared to laugh over her pot of steaming hot water. As Sonya grabbed the boiling pot of water sitting on top of it, there was a bit of exchange that took place, and the next thing we saw was Sonya was rebuking and Sean was firing.
I would rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Huh?
I rebuke you in the name of
You better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll straight your face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the fucking pot! Drop the pot!
As if that wasn't enough, Sean advised his partner to not give medical aid to Sonya because of the severity of her injuries.
I'm gonna go get my kit.
No, headshot, dude. She's done. You can go get it, but that's a headshot.
Well, the other deputy provided emergency assistance anyway and stayed with Sonya until medical personnel arrived. Note that Sonya was still breathing, but Sean relented and said he would not waste his medical kit, as the other deputy said. "We can at least try to stop the bleeding." And when the response team arrived and asked what had happened, according to Sean, he wasn't going to take hot boiling water to the face from a crazy woman, and that's the reason why he fired.
No, she had boiling water and came at me with boiling water. Yeah. She said she was going to rebuke me in the name of Jesus and came out with boiling water. That's what all this is. I was standing right here.
Baby, with Malachi now saying that the officers possibly had an interaction with his mom earlier makes it look like they already had some sort of ill judgment before they went back. And they probably knew that Sonya had a mental illness way in advance. So did Grayson switch off his body cam because he knew Sonya Massey was vulnerable? Is this why he appeared irritated and aggressive from the onset? For me, the more I go down this rabbit hole, the more it gets crazier, because I also came across another angle that was trying to explain how many of the officers in the United States are Mormons and how majority of Mormons still believe that the black skin is cursed and filthy, and eliminating them is actually a good thing. Child, maybe this is why Sonya was rebuking the officer. Let me know if you want me to cover that in depth, but meanwhile, I would love to know your thoughts on whether you believe this unaliving was premeditated in the comment section below.